All right, welcome. How we feeling? Once again, my name is Chef Chad Cherry. I'm here with you another week for another amazing virtual presentation. Today, we're going to do appetizers, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I had the toughest time picking what I wanted to do because there's literally so many, right? We know an appetizer, or if you fancy, the word hors d'oeuvre, right? As we spell it, horse to overs, but hors d'oeuvres, they've been around forever. And they're these little mini bites that you can just put out around your home for people to enjoy as they mingle, and they're not as complicated as a meal where I need a plate and silverware. And there's something that has become, it started as a very fancy treat at an upscale feast and banquets and stuff, and now it's just become a part of everyday event culture. And so as such, any item that we would eat full size can be made into an appetizer. Mm-hmm. The difference with partytizers is that these need to be, in particular, they need to be pretty.
Cute.
That's it. Cute's the word for it. They need to be cute. They definitely need to not be super messy. Okay.
And they need to be quick.
And they need to be quick.
Easy to make. Because over the holidays, sometimes you get like the friends that pop over. I mean,
Hey, I'm coming over.
We are in an unprecedented time, and it's 11:02. We're going to wait until about 11:05 to start. My name is Karen Cherry, by the way, for those of you who've never joined one of our classes, but
one day we're going to get her in front of the camera so you just don't hear her voice. You can put a face to it, voice.
Not any day soon. But we are in the time of COVID. So maybe you're watching this prayerfully down the line when COVID is just a bad memory, but
gatherings,
and actually having people pop over. Like, I am not the type of person who likes to be surprised by guests. It's really not my style.
Not your cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea, but partytizers are really, really great if you have people just kind of like ringing your doorbell, or
neighbor
carolers.
Really?
I would love, yes, I would listen. COVID has got me so that I want carolers.
Okay.
I want it back.
My wife is in a special space. I mean, I guess, you know what? I would say this. To see groups of people literally bringing joy, I think I would take it.
Exactly. Even if the singing is bad, and
I don't like musicals as movies. Okay, we're getting slightly off topic. So let me bring it back. What my wife was saying about speed, timing. Partytizers have to be quick.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Yeah.
If someone pops over, which once again, special time, but I want you to be able to whip up something in under, really 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And we're going to show you 3 really quick things. And that's why I started out by saying that I had so many issues doing this, because there's really no limits. I mean, we probably have a list of like over 100 different ones we could have done.
And of course, we wanted to choose the ones that were on the healthier side. There are some amazing appetizers that are not on the healthier side.
Not so healthy. And these are, we have one that in between. So we did a little healthier, but we also wanted to pick stuff that would go with the holiday.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is coming up, so you're definitely going to see some Thanksgiving flavors that you're used to. Hopefully, give you some ideas. And then we just have one flavor that is all the way just built for South Florida. It's just what we do. We're talking because we're giving it a few minutes. We always wait till about 5 minutes after the hour. So if there's anybody who's late, who's joining us, they have time to catch up. And in this time, I love just explaining the concepts.
And it is 11:05, so you can go ahead and explain the concept, and we can jump right in, Chef.
All right. 3 appetizers today in under an hour. We're going to have fun, super easy. We are going to start with what is close. Well, we're not going to start with that, but I'll tell you. Actually, I should just tell you in order. We are going to do Marscapone, right? Marscapone cheese balls. Now that may not sound sexy, but wait till we put it together. We are also then going to do jerk chicken sliders. And you see the jerk, you see the King Hawaiian rolls. Those actually may be hidden over there. Maybe I should put this over here, King Hawaiian rolls. Some jerk chicken sliders, super easy, super fun. And then we are going to do turkey bacon wrapped dates. Now my dates are holding up my turkey bacon, but I'm gonna show you on the camera. We'll get to see that later on. All right. Sound fun? Want to hear about it? Here we go.
Like a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Let's go.
Right. Let me glove up. That is essential. When you're at home, you don't have to do this, and technically I'm at home, but I always want to exhibit the best parts of food safety because, you know, that's what it means to be professional. So I'm gloving up real quick. I use nitrile gloves. They are my favorite. I have big hands. They stretch. They don't rip as much. I will break gloves every time. We're going to start with what's going to be the Marscapone balls. So I'm going to pull out some of the ingredients that we're going to need for these bad boys, these beautiful bad boys right here. The pretzels are our last one, and I'll show that later. Okay. Really, really simple concept. The name is literally how it sounds, but you have just a small piece of prep to do in the beginning, and that is taking some cranberries, okay, and making them smaller, because these large cranberries, and these are craisins, so dried cranberries. The large ones are not going to work so well on your finished product here. So just lump them together. Don't think about it. Literally just rough chop.
And this is one of those things that if you have tiny people around your home,
little hands,
there are knives. I should have brought our son's knife out.
Go grab it.
Yeah, I can go grab because so you explain and I'll go grab the knife so that they can see it.
So we just want to cut these up into small pieces. And once again, around the holidays, this is a wonderful time to get your children involved, right? Get the kids involved in what you're doing. Once again, learning how to cook, passing on family recipes. This is such a tradition. You create memories. It creates a special time for them. It's bonding. It's proven to be wonderful for mental health and for stability of children as they eat with us and they work with us. But there's another hidden thing, right? When you want to get kids to try fruits and vegetables and stuff that they wouldn't normally try, having them cook it, prepare it with you, that's the secret. That's the secret sauce right there. Okay? So always do that. And I'm going to show you how these look. Like I said, I just rough chopped them. So they're just small. They're literally just smaller than they were. This is a kid's knife. Now, this is by Curious Chef. These knives, as you notice, they won't cut you. Well, that felt like that almost cut. But
we've kind of sharpened his a little.
Yeah.
Just because he does a lot of vegetables and that kind of thing.
And apples and stuff.
And apples and stuff, but
works really well. I'll actually use this during the show to show you what I'm talking about. But yeah.
So they're safety knives. They come in a lot of different sizes. Our son does demos with us sometimes, and we don't want to worry about what he's cutting. So this is like the safest way to teach that. I got those off Amazon. They're not very expensive. So if you're interested, you can
affordable.
Yeah, they're super affordable. And
I think Publix has them. They call them lettuce knives in Publix, but they have them there as well.
Yeah.
But yes. So you were saying safety knives?
Yeah, I was just talking about safety knives and getting the kids involved in every aspect of cooking. Not even if they're interested in cooking, but just making your own meal, being able to understand where food comes from and how to prepare food. It just opens up it broadens their horizons and allows them to consider things other than chicken fingers, right? And if they make it,
or nuggets.
Yeah, if they make their vegetables, if they season it themselves, if they cut it themselves, odds are they'll try it. So that's a good little tip.
Now, I also like to add some nuts to mine. These are chopped walnuts. You can use pecans, or if you have a nut allergy, you don't have to use nuts at all. I like the walnuts because I love walnut flavor, but they can be slightly bitter sometimes. Just like pecans be sweet. So you just gotta play with it. However, I also get walnuts because as a chef, I do some candied walnuts that are insane, right? And I'm definitely gonna add that to one of my dessert toppings. Where that's gonna happen here. And I happen to see walnuts for a really good price. Buy one, get one at Publix. So we got walnuts today. And once again, I'm just making them a little smaller. We just doing that.
So I want to talk about this particular. I want to talk about this particular appetizer because we use this one often because at the during the holidays, one of the things that we hear a lot and we know for ourselves, I know for myself, is that I want to indulge. I want something like sweet and decadent when I'm thinking about, you know, the holidays and like what I want to eat. I want to make sure that what I eat, I'm enjoying. I don't want to feel like I'm on a diet.
Nope.
During the holidays.
Now we just mix those two. Super, super easy. And you leave them in a bowl. Now for the piece de resistance. Okay.
So with this particular appetizer, we're not full on going to pie or cakes or anything like that, but we're still gonna get the sweet, we're gonna get the crunch, we're gonna get the beautiful flavors of the mascarpone cheese, and it just does something amazing. It does something amazing for your palate, and you don't need to eat a lot. It's really just a little treat, and you get something sweet and savory all at the same time. It's like this is like one of my favorites. The kids can help.
The kids definitely should do this because as you see, it is very
The kids can help. You can always keep this in your refrigerator year round because it doesn't take up a whole lot of space.
No, and it's ooey gooey.
So it's literally one of my absolute favorites.
So here we're going to make a very light ball, and I have stuff all over my fingertips already.
So much
this
fun.
Is why I'm like, kids should do it because they be licking their fingers right now.
They can do this from start. They can do this one from start to finish.
Yeah, this is super easy.
Which our kids definitely have, but I don't think our kids found it like fun or interesting because when they did it for like 200 people. So
yeah, and they, you know, we put in the work.
I think they are completely over it.
Hold on, I'm trying to grab this without breaking, but I'm gonna put one ball right there. You see how quick that was, right?
Cute.
You see how quick that was? Now, I'm not being Chef Chad right now. I'm just being Chad to get to help us out, right?
But
so don't worry about the balls being perfect.
Yeah, we kind of want it to be.
You want it to be. It's gonna round out as you do it. You see,
and you can make this any size that you want. So if you want to make like tiny pops, you can make them. You can make them smaller. Those are two different sizes there.
And if you notice, this is just one thing of cheese. If you make them smaller, you can get
a good amount.
Don't worry about the mess. That's why I said have the kids do it. When I was in the store, though, I saw one of these that was, it was a soft cheese, and it was cheesecake flavored. And I'm gonna tell you,
cheesecake flavored,
semi-soft cheese like mascarpone, and I almost bought that because. But
that's not what we're doing today. Wow, that could be a dessert, like a dessert pop.
I was so close.
A very, very quick and easy dessert pop.
I was so close. In nature, you can't have any nature. So it would be nice if you have the kids do this. Have one kid, right? Have one of the children go ahead and roll the cheese, and have the other one top it. This way you make life easy.
It works for us because we have two kids, but.
I'm making 5. I was going to make 4 of each one, but I'm making 5 because my wife is going to eat probably the smallest one very, very fast. Why? Because I know my wife, right? Well, so we're going to put this here, okay? I'm going to ask my wife for a little bit of help.
Sure.
Would you be so kind as to come right around and open up those dessert shelves?
Sure.
Now, I know you are figuring out how to stay off camera as you do this.
I am totally figuring out how to stay off camera.
My wife is good. You see her, she's like, ah.
I was going to tell you, no, I can't help you.
So I wanted to show you because sometimes, like I made 5 quick balls.
This is cake.
These are called dessert shells, okay? My wife is over here like, that's called cake. I choose to call them dessert shells, okay? You can find ones that are a little bit, that are shallower, a little bit less, but I'm gonna put just a little bit of this in here, right? And I'm gonna top it. I was just showing you how to use leftovers. Now here is where this item that you would not, by most stretches of the imagination, say, this is not healthy, chef. I don't know what you're doing. Here's where this becomes healthy. And this is where appetizers can be amazing, right? As a flip. It becomes healthy because this could become a dessert substitute. So instead of doing a full-on, as my favorite, like I said, cheesecake or something else, you can just go ahead and use just a little bit of sweet, right? Just a little something, and it gives you a nice little substitute. We're just gonna drop those on right there. We're gonna leave those.
So what I hear you,
extra.
So what I hear you saying, Chef Chad, as we go into Thanksgiving week,
yes,
one of the things that we want to be clear about is really just creating a plan for yourself that doesn't put you in a place where you're like, oh my gosh, I am not going to enjoy my Thanksgiving at all because I'm just not going to eat anything. Exactly. I'm going to just eat lettuce and just eat tomatoes. And, you know, I'm going to limit myself here and limit myself there. So what we are talking about here is making sure that you make a plan.
Yes.
If your family is getting together for the holidays and you know that the day after Thanksgiving, you're rolling yourself out of bed.
Which has happened.
If you know that you are that you're prone to just eating your way through Thanksgiving, make yourself a plan, right? So making these appetizers that you can just grab, where you get a little bit of the sweet from the craisins.
It's all about that little moderation
finding.
And I'm finishing the appetizer. We're making this in 2.
So finding alternatives for yourself and making a plan ahead of time is going to be where it's at. And trust me, with these little partytizers, your family members are going to want to eat what you're eating.
And also, too, this helps you to eat a little bit less, right? This helps with self-control. I'm a diabetic type 2, and I never crave sweets as much as when I became a diabetic. And what I have learned is that by giving myself little bits, later on, I can say no to the chocolate cake. I can say no to the other stuff, and I'm good to go. Now, we just put some, I just used some dipping sticks, the pretzels, and this is how you make it into a pop. So that way people can pick it up and bite, and it becomes amazing. We're gonna leave those right there. We've got more to come. See how simple, quick, and easy that was. And like I said, little bits, moderation is your friend. We're gonna sit this over here as we start with our next beautiful appetizer and clear our station. We are going to go to our jerk chicken, but I need to cut just a few tomatoes before I do that for our third one, because I only have one cutting board here and I don't want to, you know, sully this cutting board for beforehand.
So we're getting ready to do some sliders, right?
Yes.
And I've seen you do different things with sliders. You've taken the same filling that you've used with the slider. I know you have honey, you have the wheat rolls right now, but I've seen you also do it with tortillas.
You've seen me do it with lettuce cups.
Right. So instead of
guys, which are the small.
Right. So instead of using the wheat rolls, using endives or bib lettuce, which is butter lettuce, or using tortillas and making like cute little
just little
appetizers out of that as well. Yeah. Okay.
Because the point is, other point of appetizers, why this is a better for you option, is because, like I said, the size, right? you get a little hit of something. And I'm just using some Hawaiian rolls, like my wife was saying. You can use lettuce, you can use tortilla. There are a lot of different ways to prepare this, so it's healthier. But we want to make little better for you things. So we want to be able to have a smaller version of all of the stuff we love, so that we don't eat as much. If I'm braising, I'm not going to go all the way in when I get that plate. I'm not going to make me a Thanksgiving plate that is, just stuffed to the brim of food. Which
and
is where a lot of us go wrong. We get these huge plates and they're so hungry. You can smell the food all day.
And last class we did Cornish hens instead of turkey. Even though turkeys, there's so much that you can do with turkey, and it's so much better for you than using red meat. But the Cornish hens also teach us about size, right? And portion control. So here with the appetizers, we're saying the same thing.
Unwrapping the chicken. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. Being able to, again, have a plan that allows you to be more deliberate about what you're going to do at the holidays, like a realistic plan. Not a plan that says, I am absolutely going to stay away from all of this food. No, a plan.
That's not realistic.
It's not realistic for most people. So a plan that says, I am going to create my own, right? Yes. We're not showing you difficult things to create, but being able to have that plan is so very important.
And my wife is right, because what happens is it's a lifestyle change. I'm showing you an appetizer, but I want to show you something you can use just every day as well. We're going to break down this chicken really quickly. So what we are going to do is we're going to cut right down the breastbone, and it requires a little bit of force or a very sharp knife. Don't worry about it, just cut straight through. So we're going to put this in half, right? And once you have that in half, you can just pull off this connector right here. So this is your leg.
Can you turn it to the side, Chef Chad, when you do the other piece?
Okay, so I'm just going to separate. I'm going to turn this to the side. This is your leg and thigh, and you pull that off. Now what you have are your 4 pieces. You've got your breast, you've got your leg and thigh, right? And for this meal, we're going to focus on the breast, but you can use the leg and thigh. You get rid of all the little inside stuff. We don't want that, okay? And we're also going to get rid of the skin. While the skin is delicious, this is the part of the chicken that is going to add the most calories and the other stuff that we can avoid. So, this is really easy. Just take the skin off, discard it, don't worry about it.
And because our viewers have taken so many of our classes, they're not going to lose any of that flavor because they know how to season.
None of that flavor. And I'm going to show you how to jazz this up. Like I said, super quick, super easy, super simple. I do want to go back to lifestyle while I'm cutting this. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this up a little smaller. There's a bone in the back here. We're just going to pull out. We're going to get rid of all this stuff. And you don't have to use a knife. You don't have to be surgical. Just get in there with your hands, pull it out, and then we'll be able to use that. Now, if you cook a lot, you want to save all of these bones and all this extra stuff, and you want to boil it out to make a chicken stock or a soup, right? Or a nice broth, a nice base for a sauce or something.
Ooh, and one of our classes in December is actually going to be the class where you break that down and turn it into tacos. I think we're going to do tacos. We're going to do a meal. We're going to do tacos. And then we'll
show 5 ways to break down a rotisserie. But right now, we're just left with our breast. We're just going to go ahead. We're going to slice this up. We're not going to do too much.
So where did you get this rotisserie from? I mean, I know that you often do your own, but I think you bought this one, right?
This one I picked up from Publix because, there are just some things that you can let other people do for you and not be mad, right? A grocery store is doing certain bits of work. Let them do that work. Accept that help. It saves you time, energy, because this appetizer, if you had to cook the chicken from scratch, I don't think a lot of people would want to recreate this because of the time it takes. So sometimes it's great to save energy and save time and do that. Now that you have your chicken chunked, we're going to move on to the next step. We're going to turn this on, right?
How much was that breast, Chef?
This was, the whole chicken was $7.99. So it's pretty affordable because I'm not going to use these sides right here. I'm going to actually save those And that's going to be something I can feed to the kids with some veggies and a salad. And that's lunch. So that works for me really well. And you'll see
I'm totally looking forward to.
And you'll see just this little bit of meat right here is going to make a lot of filling. We're going to add something to it. We're going to add some veggies. So one of the concepts that we teach often is we believe in the principles of lifestyle change. So what that means is I'm not trying to get people to make huge changes. I'm not a dietitian or nutritionist, okay? What I am trying to do is to get people to incorporate healthier habits into their everyday lives. Hence the term lifestyle change. I'll put that separately. And what that means is it has to be, the criteria for that in my book, they have to be things that are familiar to people, right? Chicken, very familiar. It has to be something that's easy, that I don't have to think about, very few measurements. Why? Because the more complicated we make it, the less likely people are to do it, and then the less effective we become in helping people modify their behaviors. Because I want you to do this in perpetuity. So that's why we show you some stuff the way we do. Just a thought into our methodology. Now,
I have a thought into methodology.
Talk to me.
How much do you love me?
Very much. But when you start out like that, you scare me. What do you?
No, it's not anything bad.
She says, how much do I love her? And that, I mean, I might be outside buying a diamond ring in a few seconds.
No.
What are we talking about here?
You could give me a rose. You could give me
give you a rose.
How about one right now out of that tray that you made?
Oh.
How about we pretend that one of those roses is a pop and you give me one of the little ones?
Hilarious, babe. Here you go.
Yay.
Okay, so making the wife happy is not hard. By the way, drop these in the refrigerator for a little bit and they'll solidify a lot more. It'll be nice. And she's tearing it up. Okay, so chicken is in. We are going to add some coleslaw. Okay, and I know you're like, Chef, coleslaw. Coleslaw, cabbage is very, very healthy. And cabbage is actually, we're going to use more cabbage than chicken. You should only have a little bite of the chicken, but you should definitely be eating the cabbage. Okay, and I know that's going to make some people be like, oh man, you're gypping me. But once again, as part of our healthier lifestyle choices, we want to do less proteins, less meats. Okay, I know for a lot of people having no meat is scary, so I'm not going to do that, but we're just going to do less. This is my chef-made adobo. I'm going to sprinkle some of that here, right? I'm just using 2 pinches, just the way Grandma used to do, right? That's it. And we are going to toss this.
Marscapone is ridiculous.
I hear you over there. I see you over there. Now, if you notice, I didn't add any oil to the skillet. You don't need it, right? The chicken and the cabbage is not in here long enough to stick. The cabbage is going to start releasing liquid very, very soon. So all we're going to do is we're going to sweat it. We're not going to fully cook this. You just want to sweat it just a little bit so that it's not so crunchy, right? You want a little crunch, but you know, raw cabbage is, it can be a little offensive. I'm not going to front, and I love it, but it can be a little offensive. So you see how much we made? I used just 2 breasts from a small rotisserie and some cabbage, and I've got a whole half of a skillet now here. Now, this by itself could be the start to a really good stir fry, but we're not even going to do that.
True.
Okay? We're going to leave this here. At this point, turn off your skillet, okay? And we're going to add our last couple of ingredients. A little bit of mustard. Mustard is a balancer. It's also a preservative, and it really adds a nice flavor. So don't do too much, just a line or 2, right? Just a little bit. We're going to add, and this is where the jerk comes in. I'm using jerk barbecue because my kids love this. If you are spicy, add some regular jerk in there. I'm gonna go lighter because my son, we're working on his spice tolerance. He's spice tolerance in what do we call it? Insufficient right now. It's not there yet.
Yes, something like that.
Something like that. That is really poor grammar. But we're not even going to use a lot of it, right? You're just going to pour, okay? And the trick is you don't need a lot of sauce, okay? But what's gonna happen is this flavor is gonna get all the way in. It's gonna coat all the way throughout. Let me leave this on the table so if you're watching this, you can see.
So suppose I don't want to use barbecue jerk.
Just
What?
regular jerk is fine. Or listen, any other flavoring of your choice, okay? Any other flavoring of your choice.
That's one of the reasons why I love the sliders, because again, we really, I mean, people are always like, oh, can I have the recipe? Can I have the recipe? Can I have the recipe? And we love that you want the recipe, right? We love that you want the recipe that Chef Chad has made, but the point of the classes are to get you to increase your food intuition.
Yes.
We say that all the time. We want your recipes.
We don't want you to give us recipes. We don't want, I just said that.
You did say it backwards. I'm waiting for you to correct yourself. It's fine. I can help you if you want me to.
I don't want people to get stuck
on what you've made.
What I made or anything. I want.
We will be successful.
To work on, like, this is a blueprint.
Yeah.
This is not about, hey, I have to do something.
And we see success as when other people take what the principles, that's the word I'm looking for. When other people take the principles that we have taught and they use it to make their own creations. Because what happens then is that you become the person that is in control of your food destiny and your food journey. You become the author of your book. And we really want that, right? Because if we're gonna change.
I missed the mark on that one.
I saw that.
Y'all didn't see that.
No, I saw it. I definitely saw it.
Huge piece of cabbage is gonna come out.
But we want it so that you are not afraid to go into the grocery store. We want it so that you're not afraid to add things to your repertoire, to your refrigerator. We want you to make your own creations according to your own palate, because everybody has a preferred palate.
Yes, and this what I'm doing is that the toothpick, right, is just to hold it together, so it's got a very functional purpose.
But you're also making it cute.
Yes, because the grape tomato is literally the cherry on top.
That's cute.
Our last name is Cherry, so we like cherry puns.
I think they know that our last name is Cherry.
I'm going to slide this forward.
Very
right
cute.
Here. Okay. Now
I would put some olives. Is that extra one for me?
Exactly. See, y'all are starting to see this trend, right? I think they're starting to understand how this works.
They're starting to understand how this works.
The smart husband that cooks a little bit extra for his wife.
2 for you, 1 for me.
Now, we are on to our third and final, and I want to say, see how quick, speed, like we promised you. You're not going to be here working for hours. I don't believe in making people slave in the kitchen. Okay? I want you to enjoy it, have fun, and I want your guests to be awed. These are things that are beautiful and they're quick and they're simple, and your guests will just fall in love with you at the end of the day and think that you are just the most amazing person, human being, for being able to make this. And I'm doing a little bit of table maintenance while I talk, but these are our 3 ingredients here. Ooh! Uncured turkey bacon. Difference is, look at that strip. Right.
Ooh, which we are totally gonna have to talk about because, yeah. So let's take a second to talk about turkey bacon.
While you're talking about that, I'm gonna actually start putting some down.
Yes. Okay. All turkey bacon is not created equal.
Facts.
I need you to talk about that, because when you go to the grocery store, the turkey bacon that you see regularly in the grocery store, the turkey bacon that some people try to feed you, does not look like that.
No, it doesn't. And I'm gonna pull out a strip right now. I'm just gonna cut this open neatly. I can't help it. As a chef, I have my moments. I probably could help it because I just said I can't help it.
You probably could.
I would get at my son for saying he can't.
You just don't want to. Big difference.
No, big difference. Yeah, big difference. Because things need to be a certain way. And of course, don't tell me I did.
You did. You did.
All right.
So you're using very specific turkey bacon. It's not the slender kind of
No, it's not those sliver ones that cook up like rubber and they're all hard. We don't want that, right? This is.
Can we show that? Because that's going to make a big difference.
So this is what they call, it's uncured turkey bacon, right? Turkey dark meat chopped in form, right? There's 80% less fat than regular bacon. There's definitely, I don't know the numbers, but the amount of sodium, the amount of less sodium this has than regular bacon is phenomenal. And look at that. There's not a lot of fat in there, right? Regular bacon, you see it. This is not half as salty.
And this recipe could call for regular bacon. We don't do, we just don't do it with regular bacon. Like the idea is to have something delicious, like amazingly delicious, but to still know that we're controlling what we're putting into our bodies. So this turkey bacon is going to be phenomenal.
And you will not miss the bacon. I promise you this, as someone that grew up, my family's from the South, from North Carolina, I do not miss the bacon, okay? I've transitioned, I'm a full turkitarian at this point in my life, turkitarian. I'm switching gloves because even though they say fully cooked, I don't trust it. I'm gonna wrap this up just for later. We're gonna move that out the way. I'll put it over here. I'll come back to it. It just needs to come off my cutting board, and I need to put something down to mark. So at home, I'm always advocating that you are very particular about potential cross-contamination. Cross-contamination is one of those things that can make you sick, and you won't even know why you got sick. So if you're dealing with any meats that are potentially raw, you want to go ahead and wash your hands in between touching them, and you want to cover surfaces or just sanitize surfaces. So back to this. My wife is telling you, you're going to see the difference in how this cooks. It's going to be amazing. It's going to cook pretty quickly too. We've got a flat skillet that's already on. I'm going to turn that up to a little bit of high. I'm just going to watch it, and we're going to talk about these dates here. Okay.
I should really eat breakfast before we start these classes.
Big facts. Big facts. The dates, because this is why we're making extra. I'm going to give them some. Dates have pits. So I got pitted dates, because the last thing you want to do with this appetizer is bite into it and bite into a pit, right? And have to fish that out. This is what it looks like. Now, there are a couple of kinds of dates. When they're in season, there's something called medjool dates, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so forgive me. But they are decadent. I mean, decadent. These are sweet. They're just beautiful. I mean, dates are one of those foods that in ancient times would be such a treat, such a luxury. And now we pass them on grocery store aisles and don't even use them. So we're going to take the dates. The bacon is going to give us our savory, our salty, our right? The dates are going to give us a sweet, and we're going to add a little mozzarella for some creaminess. That's the recipe for decadence. That is that kind of like when people bite into it and they look at you for a second because they've got so many flavors happening all at once.
It's also incredibly bougie, and I love it. It is just one of those things that, again, this is not going to take up a lot of space in your pantry, in your refrigerator.
These don't even have to be refrigerated.
But when you bring it out for your guests, they are just going to look at you and be like, where did this culinary prowess come from?
Yo, they're gonna think you've been studying Martha Stewart.
Man. They don't know Martha Stewart.
Watching, what's my lady?
Martha Stewart ain't got nothing on Chad Cherry.
Not at all. What's my lady? The original, the Galloping Gourmet. What was her name?
Julia?
Julia Child. Oh,
we love Julia.
Man. You talk about someone.
I'm gonna not try her voice because I'm gonna really mess it up. But yes, she absolutely has a love for food. Do you know that that's one of the things that I would love to see come back?
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from a woman. I am a woman who
when I met her, right?
in the 2000s.
In the 2000s,
mid 2000s.
So what do you want to eat? I don't know. Food is just something that you do because I have to do it. And I was offended as a chef.
You
do you mean you have to do it?
I have to do it in order to survive. I don't actually enjoy it. I just ate because I needed to survive. And you
didn't actually enjoy it.
You opened my eyes to
good
the
food.
reality of food. And we went to a restaurant. We found this really amazing restaurant the other day, and it's a Cuban restaurant, and the waiter described the food.
He said,
"Oh,
it is
beautiful.
It is beautiful.
This one right here it's beautiful. The
really
flavors."
bad accents. Sorry, Fernando.
Yes.
That was my guy, man. You were a great waiter.
Really bad accent. But what I'm sorry that we're messing up your accent, but we couldn't do his accent justice anyway, just because, he's just, oh my gosh, amazing. And so he was explaining that the food was just beautiful. And it would be so lovely for us to be able to get people back to where they're excited about food, right? Because we always say that the difference between a cook and a chef is that a cook will feed you something and it may be really, really good and really amazing. A chef will unfold experiences and flavors on your palate. He or she will take you places that you've never been before. They will open up for you a world of oh gosh, it's so amazing. And I would love that.
And I want to relate this back to health immediately, because as a type 2 diabetic, when I started to have my health issues, I thought that I was not going to be able to enjoy food again. It was a real serious concern, right?
Yeah.
And as a chef, I've learned that no, there's a world of possibilities out there. Learning culinary is so amazing because you see the world of possibilities, and you can heal yourself, not fully, but you can go a long way.
If you have a plan with your, I think what we're missing is we go to doctors all the time. We speak to nutritionists all the time, right?
I'm just searing them.
We may go and get a trainer, right, to help us work out, but we disregard food. We disregard, I think, using a food professional to help you, a real food professional that can help you improve your food intuition and not just go from recipe to recipe. Because just going from recipe to recipe, take it from someone who has tried. It doesn't really work well.
It doesn't give you the same thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just cook these last two because I like the crispy side.
They're so pretty.
It's worth having a little bit of patience. This is fully cooked now, so we can touch it. Hey, don't do what I do. Don't touch the stuff. It's hot. It's on the skillet. You see the smoke. I don't have fingertips. Okay?
Yeah.
But look at those. They're fully ready. And in the skillet, right? I turn this to low. Matter of fact, we can just turn it off. In your skillet, take a little bit of mozzarella. Actually, let's keep this on low.
So,
take a little bit of mozzarella and drop it down, right? And I put no oil in this skillet. You don't need any of that. There's so much things that you can do. You do not need to add oil all the time. Take that component out of your life as much as possible.
And they can change the mozzarella to like sharp cheddar or something, depending on, or maybe a different type of cheese. What about goat cheese?
Goat cheese is phenomenal. I chose this because of the stringiness.
You want to pull it. Okay.
Yeah, just like a good pizza.
What about cream cheese? Could we use cream cheese?
I would not use cream cheese for this.
How
just
come?
Because cream cheese is typically cold. And also cream cheese is also very, very fatty. So I would use some of the lighter ones. This is a low moisture mozzarella, so it's like a skim milk. It's much better for you. I would avoid the cream cheese.
Okay. And I did want to point out when you do
right at the end right there.
When you do regular bacon, so like it wasn't turkey. So see how the turkey bacon it keeps
a lot of its shape.
Right, it keeps its shape. So if you were trying to do this with regular bacon, you could, but regular bacon, because of all the fat, it's gonna crinkle, it's gonna shrivel.
Yes.
It's gonna release a whole bunch of. This skillet right here would be swimming in oil
Oh my gosh.
So you're really gonna wanna, you know.
All three of y'all just want to come together. Y'all just want to hang out, don't you?
Yes, they want to hang out.
Come on, man.
They want to hang out in my mouth.
Come on, Cletus.
They're so pretty.
Okay. I'm removing these. So normally I would roll these individually right in the skillet, but I realized that I am not setting a good example. Once again, I personally do not have fingertips. So for me, rolling in a skillet means I'm gonna have a slight ouchie. For you, rolling in a skillet means you're gonna burn something. So we're gonna put these back down here. We're gonna roll them individually. Once again, I just want to show you how easy it is.
That
mozzarella
is pretty.
It's amazing. Just put your date in there. Just right at the tip. Right
I noticed you made 5 and not 4.
And just roll it. Just roll it.
Is there a reason you made 5?
Yeah, you know why? I just told the people why.
I just wanted you to say it one more time.
Because of my wife. Now, to add an extra layer of just goodness and health to this, if you were to take a little bit of spinach and put it right on top of the mozzarella.
What about cucumber? Something like.
You could add some cucumber as well, or you could sit these in cucumber rounds. There's a sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying like the cooling from the cucumber.
Mm-hmm. The cooling from the cucumber, then you add a little bit of spice to this, which is also good for you. You know, the spinach gives you a little bit of green, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we're gonna see, you're gonna understand, I'm a recycler of techniques.
Ah, yes, recycler of techniques. I would put olives and maybe those little baby pearl onions. Oh my goodness.
Yep, olives, little baby pearl onions.
Happiness. Just happiness.
That's all I want to do with my food is bring people closer. Bring them together.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Wait till we're done. And this part right here, you get the little ones, man. Those little hands, like I said, use them. Use them. They're right there. They want to be, trust me, they want to work. They're watching you all day. They're like, Mommy, I want to help.
This is incredibly.
Daddy, I want to help. Drop them in.
This is incredibly fancy. I mean, obviously, I've seen you do it before, and people know I've seen you do it before. So this might be just for the audience, but I'm gonna say what they're thinking. This is fancy and pretty
and quick
and affordable.
Don't forget and quick
and affordable. Can't forget the and affordable because we are checking boxes over here, Chef Chad.
I'm cutting a tomato with this knife. Look at that. Look at that. This is the kid's knife.
This is the kid's knife.
You can cut a tomato with it. Look at that. That's important, like I said, because you can have your kids use it. And I showed you that because I know it's one thing for someone to say, hey, this can happen. It's another thing for you to see it. And getting your kids involved, I promise you, it is magical. Look up statistics on kids that eat dinner with families, and you'll see how helpful it is and how much of something that our society is missing that we really just need to come back to.
You know, and for us, this pandemic, like for a lot of other people, has meant so many different things to our family. Mm-hmm. And one of those things is that our kids aren't getting as much interaction with their peers. And one of the things that we have tried desperately to do during this time is to really asset frame. Instead of looking at what we don't have, oh my gosh, our kids can't hang out with their friends and they can't, do this and they can't do that. Listen, we have had generation after generation after generation of families that have spent less and less and less time together. So for us, we have tried to find ways that we can spend time together that adds to our closeness as a family, but also adds to the education for our kids, right? Mm-hmm. So for Zion is 8, cooking and doing things around the house gives us an opportunity to talk to him, find out what's going on in his head, how he's feeling, what he's thinking, what he's going through. But it also increases his eye-hand coordination, the different skills that he would be learning in school, where he's like using his hand and using precision, being able to use a knife, do things in the kitchen, and teaching him to follow directions, because Lord knows.
Well, follow directions is a big one.
That is such a big
I don't
one.
know if that's just a boy thing, y'all, but
our girls follow much better.
But you know, it's also critical thinking. The kitchen is big on critical thinking, right? Like I always tell people, I find my zen in the kitchen, because I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna want to do something, and I'm gonna have to solve problems. I'm gonna have to follow steps. I'm gonna have to think the whole time, but I'm also moving, and I'm in a state of flow. Like they talk about being in the now.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk to you about lifestyle changes and teaching you how to prepare stuff for yourself, it goes so much further than what you're just eating. It also goes into your mind state and where you're at, right? How you can find peace for an hour or two preparing delicious food, and then you go feed your family, and they're finding peace and they're finding comfort and solitude, and it's also so much better for them. You notice throughout every step of this, we're able to control our salts, we're able to control our sugars, we were able to control our fats. These are all things that you want to do, and it looks amazing.
Oh, I want to eat all of that.
Imagine platters of this around the house. This took us no time, y'all, no time.
No time at all.
We're still ahead of time, aren't we?
We are still ahead of time. We actually have another 8 minutes.
I finished early.
So
I love that. Man, listen, I'm ready to go. See, now I'm ready to eat.
All right.
This is going to get devoured by my kids as soon as I go in the house, though.
So you want to just remind everyone what we made?
Let's run through it.
All
right. So we'll start with what is freshest in your mind, which are the turkey bacon wrapped dates. So dates are sweet, they're decadent. We wrap them in grilled turkey bacon with a little bit of mozzarella cheese, which you can see kind of oozing out of there in the layers. And actually, I'm going to pull one up. Look at the layers of that. That just makes you like, oh, that gets you right there, right? That just gets you right there. Here, our next appetizer, this is a jerk chicken slider. Once again, don't worry about the recipe. Think about the blueprint of it, right? Any flavor you want to use. We use rotisserie chicken, which I showed you how to break down and pull. So we're actually going to get 2 meals out of that, because I've got the sliders here and I've got some legs and thighs, which I can go put on a plate with a salad, and that's lunch. Okay. Coleslaw, and it's more coleslaw than anything else. Just a touch of seasoning, some jerk barbecue sauce, and a little bit of mustard. Now that's where you can make the change. If you don't want to use jerk barbecue sauce, find your favorite sauce, right? Add just a little bit, let it carry through. We put it on some Hawaiian rolls, which I just know my kids love. But if you need to cut down on carbs, try some lettuce wraps. It'll work out beautiful. I promise you, you'll love it. Here was an impromptu. I used one kind of dessert to make 2 things. So as a diabetic, I want something sweet all the time, and to avoid eating the ice cream and the cake and the apple pies, I've learned to make small sweet treats. This is our mascarpone with our craisins and chopped walnuts inside of a pastry shell, which in essence is really like a small cake. So you don't want to eat too much, but if you notice the portion size, that's a great portion size. That's individual, it's tiny. This would give me my hit of sweet so that later on in my meal, I'm not after dinner saying, okay, bring on the ice cream and cake, all right? And these are mascarpone balls. Now, what that was, mascarpone is a semi-soft cheese. We just cut up some craisins, some dried cranberries, and some walnuts. We rolled it in, and we put pretzels in. The pretzels become like your candle, right? So now people can just pick them up, and they can just start biting, and they are so delicious. You can make these in varying sizes, and 1 tub of mascarpone
made all of that.
Made this, and I still have left over. So you don't have to buy a lot, and that's important because it also saves you time and money. And see, you can repurpose it. And if you want to make this even more decadent, add some fresh fruit to it. Add some berries.
Ooh,
strawberries. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so
if y'all can see her
good.
face right now, she's already in her mind like, yeah, you're doing that for me. So I'm going to be adding that to my list as soon as we get off camera.
Yes, yes, please.
I was thinking peaches though. Just because I like peaches.
I mean, I don't really like peaches like
Let's go Caribbean though. Let's get some mango in there. You can
I
see
could
mango.
do. I could see
You
mango.
can see mango.
I could see mango, but I could
mango.
also see raspberries, blueberries, like just berries. Because you know, I mean, and berries are so good for you, but just like raspberries, blueberries, strawberries.
Listen, to make it prettier, what about some pomegranate seeds?
Ooh.
What?
Okay, we are getting off topic here. All right, so we are going to pause right now for questions. We have another quick couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions, please let us know. If
in.
you are watching this later on as well,
You can always, they can always email us.
You can always email us, Chef Culture, that is culture with a K, Kulture, Chef Culture at gmail.com.
Yes.
Very, very easy.
Very fun. Very delicious.
Very fun.
I am, you don't understand. I'm just holding it back because this is going down. I'm about to eat this.
Which is why we are going to end this right here and right now. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We will see you next week.
Yep. As always, it's been a pleasure. You know, I love coming this to you. I know we have differing views from health, but once again, we're not nutritionists. We're just talking to you from practical stuff that we've seen work and that we've experienced. And we thank you for being with us, man. Food and love.
All right.
Food and love. That's going to be my new thing. Food and love.
Food and love. Thank you, Megan. We'll see you next week.